And his opponent starting to the bottom left with an exciting performance on Cloud Kingdom. He was able to take the first map. It is Fnatic aLive!
As we mentioned before, this map is very similar in a lot of ways to the last map. I think the biggest difference in this map structure is that the center of the map is obstructed by rocks, and there's no kind of higher ground area there for siege tanks to be able to take control. So for that reason, I think that we might see aLive push out a little bit differently. He may try to avoid that center area because destroying the rocks there allows the Zerg player to reinforce faster. He can use Zergling run bys faster. And look at this, we're going to see a Maka-Rax here, aLive putting his first barracks down on the low ground.
Yeah, exactly, and the positioning is a little bit weird. We sometimes see the positioning of the first back outside of the main base in order to spot if there's going to be an overlord on the high ground, which will actually be the case this time. It's a little bit surprising to me, because this is one of the things that has been going on for quite a while. Zerg players try to figure out where to best position their overlords in the early stage of the game, and the positioner was actually one of the most common for quite a while. The Terran players figured out, okay, I'll just hover my barracks over there, grant vision onto the high ground, get 2 Marines, position 1 on each side, and then suddenly the overlord is dead and I'll get an advantage early on. So NesTea sending out this overlord to exactly this position is a little bit odd at this point, and this is exactly what aLive is actually going for. And I expected him to use barracks a little bit more to the right and exactly this position, but I think the overlord, yeah, he does.
Yeah, he switches the overlord. It's going in the opposite direction now because of the barracks spot. So nice scouting by NesTea. He knew exactly what that barracks was for. He's not going to lose his first overlord.
Yeah, very nice. I like that a lot. He scouts the barracks. He knows that his overlord would be in danger, so he immediately switches the scouting pattern of the overlord.
Yeah, and for that reason, though, he doesn't really get a lot of scouting information of aLive right now. He did come inside and see no gases, so he's going to know that most likely there's going to be a command center down there, but he does not know for sure. The command center is being made on the low ground right now rather than the high ground. aLive being pretty bold with this. With the way he's positioned his barracks, he can start to wall that off, but he is going to be a little bit vulnerable to early attacks. Luckily for him, though, NesTea is not going for early speed.
Yep, this time he's not going for gas, he's not going for an extractor. So it's going to be very interesting to me what exactly he's going to do. Will he rely on 4 queens and just do what we saw Idra, for example, try against Bomber and MMA? Or will he just get speed a little bit later and go for gas nonetheless? But so far it really looks like he's going for a gasless build and trying to play quite passive here.
You're exactly right. Double barracks being added here. He makes, of course, one of his barracks as a wall off to his top ramp in case of any sort of big attack from NesTea where he needs to fall back to that, but he may, in fact, move his barracks down to low ground to make a wall. The choice is his. Now, NesTea is sending his first few Zerglings around to take control of the watchtowers. He wants to find out exactly what aLive is up to. aLive has sent his Marines around the map as well to check for overlords. He wants to catch that overlord, but he just cannot. NesTea knows what he's up to.
And here comes the 3rd queen already. He is double queen out at this point, and he takes a very early 3rd here.
Yeah, this is a very quick 3rd. He's making it, of course, the right position rather than in the center. This is not very common in this matchup, especially not with speed to defend it, so he's going to have to spread his creeper there very quickly.
Yeah, exactly. So without speed, and this is going to be very, very interesting. Starting without the gas is obviously also giving him the option of getting this earlier 3rd because he just has the minerals to pull it off. But defending against this, or defending it, is mostly a little bit of a problem, but I don't even think that aLive is expecting anything like it.
Yeah, I don't think he would expect that. Now, I guess the choice here for NesTea makes sense considering he's scouted his opponent's going for a fast command center. He knows no reactor Hellions are going to be out, so he's like, okay, I could make 2 additional queens, but since there's no Hellions coming, I don't need to do that. I'm going to cut those. I'm going to get this hatchery faster. He's actually droning up quite heavily now as well.
And we have the Roach Warren building already for NesTea here.
Yeah, this is not going to be, I don't think, what aLive expects if he sees that 3rd base. Right now, he's moving some Marines around, trying to kill these Zerglings on the watchtower. Looks like he's going to get ready for a very small pressure attack here. Moving out with 9 Marines, this is very uncommon, but he just wants to put some pressure on his opponent, force some additional Zerglings rather than drones.
I really like what NesTea kind of does here. He doesn't take any gas early on, but he is not going for the build with 4 queens in order to be pretty safe. He just takes the extra minerals, puts them into a 3rd base, gets the Roach Warren, and gets 3 gas at the same time so that he can actually support it. And now he should be able to defend against this, as he just now builds the Roaches while aLive spotted his expansion.
Yeah, I mean, aLive's idea here is to force units rather than drones, but unfortunately for him, NesTea planned on building units regardless, so he's just going to be doing that here. He's actually taking the watchtower and aggressively pushing still. This SCV wants to scout what NesTea's composition is. He wants to see if there are any roaches, but NesTea denies him.
Very well done so far by NesTea. I really like this. And aLive is just building a starport here. He has Stim nearly done now. But just look at the creep spread of NesTea already. He's making a really good move here, and he's just droning up like crazy now. 13 drones at a time, just because he can, adding the lair tech. This is just all the gas that he just got in those 3 extractors that he built.
Yep, there's an evolution chamber coming down here as well for NesTea as he gets that lair. Zergling speed just starting, is barely beginning here. And NesTea actually has gone up to 6 roaches, but he's actually just keeping them at home. He's not going to move out. He thinks, I don't think I can really hit a timing here.
Yeah, if you want to hit the timing, you have to play it on 2 bases, but with the 3rd base that he built, he just wants to make sure that he is super safe. He's also getting now a Baneling Nest, and he will need it because obviously aLive is playing really Marine heavy right now. And I'm not quite sure if NesTea is going to be ready for this. Stim is done, +1 will be done as well, and aLive is just moving in right now. And there are not too many roaches just yet, and he needs a bunch of Banelings in order to defend this as well.
Yeah, it looks like aLive wants to show just a few Marines here. He may be trying to dupe NesTea into thinking there aren't very many units. Oh, these Marines are behind the line of sight blockers. That means these roaches cannot see them, and they may be taken out here. NesTea does not want to engage this, but he loses several roaches.
Didn't even use a Stim, completely waited for the rest of his Marines, and he has a ton of them by now. Once again, the Spire tech for NesTea. They're not going to be infested for him. He's once again relying on his Mutalisks. He really likes them, but what is going to happen right now with the 3rd base? Is he able to pull this off?
I love how aLive is posturing here. He's forced so many units. He even forced Banelings, and then he just pulled back. He didn't even stim. He stemmed a few Marines, killed some tumors, and then pulled back. Now he's going to go for a drop.
I like this move. He just postures at the 3rd base, as Wolf mentioned, and then he drops into the main. Tries to save the rest of his Marines here, and he just lures the units of his opponent further and further away from the main base, where the drop will occur in just a few seconds. This could be horrible for NesTea if he's not able to defend against it.
Now this absolutely will be horrible. He's losing a lot of drones here. He loses a spine as well. Luckily for NesTea, he did not build his spire here, but he's going to lose his spawning pool, and he may in fact lose the evolution chamber as well. The Zergling is trying to come in here. He needs to pick up.
Lost a few of his Marines here, but this was definitely worth it. Kills the spawning pool, retreats again, and now the Spire is ready. Not too much gas saved up for NesTea at this point. He's getting 3 Mutalisks and, of course, also the upgrade for his Banelings right now. But the Spire has been scouted, hasn't it?
I believe so. He sent a Marauder around to do some harassment. Actually, he has not seen the Spire. I thought he saw it, but he has not. He's going to continue to put some pressure on here. I kind of like what NesTea is doing. Almost every Zerg right now is going for Infestor play, but NesTea is just sticking with that old school Mutalisk style.
Yeah, the problem that I only have with this is that the reason why most Zerg players switch to Infestors is that Terran players kind of figured out how to deal with the Mutalisks. And I'm not sure if this is going to work. NesTea has an exceptional Mutalisk control. We saw that last game, but aLive is definitely one of those players who is able to deal with Mutalisks, and if he's not completely caught off by surprise, I think we will see him react accordingly.
I think you're exactly right. The first Mute is now being spotted by a Marine in the middle of the map. This drop could potentially do some damage, but it looks like aLive is a little bit scared knowing there are Mutas abound. He's going to send the drop away. He's going to wait until later so he can make use of that.
NesTea has a pretty good creep spread right now. He spreads the creep into the middle of the map already, while aLive is setting up his drop play. And we have now a ton of upgrades also for our Terran player. +2 attack, we have the +1 upgrade for the mech army. And the drop has been spotted so early that he can't do any damage with it. He's just able to lure a couple of the units back into the main base, but that's basically about it.
Yep, now during this, like you said, the armory is out, he's getting +1. He's got a 2nd factory as well, and will very likely begin double siege tank production. Another drop is coming in here to the 3rd base this time, but he is completely chased out yet again. NesTea.
That's one mean medivac. Drops one of the Marines and runs away.
That's kind of messed up. Kind of messed up, but the medevac actually barely escaping detection for a moment. However, he is going to get chased away. Some Mutas may get targeted down here. He stims, he takes out one Muta, gets a 2nd one, and even a 3rd one. NesTea way overextending himself here. He almost loses the drone, but the drone will be able to make the hatchery. Now, even so, he has been scouted.
And he lost way too many mutilates.
Yeah, way too many.
And not only the ones that he lost, but he took too much damage on the other ones as well. That was really surprising to me. I thought he would retreat with the rest of his mutalates as soon as he sniped the medivac.
Yeah, he's basically telling aLive, I really want that base. I have to kill that dropship right now. The other drop has been spotted up here, and there is no escape this time. With this many Zerglings here, engaging with the mutas is totally fine.
The bottom right, we have the fourth now building for NesTea as seen before. And aLive with his third base, but there's already one Marine for aLive just taking aim at the fourth base. A little bit of a Baneling kill here. But trading one Baneling for one Marine is not really cost efficient.
No, it's not. In fact, he's going to go ahead and go heal that Marine. The Marine doesn't
Look at the overall supply here. We have 200 supply already for NesTea. He's maxed out against aLive's 164. And the minerals are just going crazy for NesTea. He has 1,700. This is very well played so far. And he doesn't have the lava just yet.
No, he does not. He does have 117 Zerglings out on the map right now, making even 8 additional more. And 14 Banelings are on the way here. The mutas are continuing to try to control the map. NesTea has been really impressive with his mutalist control overall, minus that one time where he lost too many to the drops. He is trying to control the map with those mutas, pick off siege tanks, pick off Marines that are out in the open. He never stops moving those mutas around.
And aLive is currently completely relying on his Marines and their ability to babysit the siege tanks. I would really like him to get at least 1 or 2 Thors. They are just so effective against mutalisks, especially if you combine them with Marines. So this is definitely some... And there they are.
There they are indeed, man. That is 23 additional Banelings. Consider also he's going to pick up some medivacs. Getting 3 of them.
And this is exactly what you need the Thors for. Another one. Wow, aLive.
aLive losing so many there. He has to be careful, even losing a Marine now out in the middle. He's going to lose another medevac. He needs to control his medevacs and his Marines separately. If he continues to 1A them like that, he's going to lose more medevacs.
He is manning this attack, streaming in with more than 100 Zerglings right now. The Banelings trying to get into position as well. Retreating as the siege tank starts to get aim, but the expansion, it is gone. No chance of saving the third. aLive is down to 2 bases again.
He definitely is, and NesTea trading very well, not throwing away his Banelings afterwards, just killing the hatchery and getting out. A drop, though, will kill the 4th base of NesTea most likely, as he has no units nearby to defend it.
At the same time, just look at the minerals of this team. This is just insane. Both of these players maxed out right now at 200. Well, aLive is actually 193, but close enough. But the minerals for NesTea, they are insane. If he has enough lava, he can just rebuild Zerglings over and over and over again.
Right, and you know, you were mentioning earlier those Thors. Well, the first one is out. Hold that thought! A huge engagement. The siege tanks blocking the Banelings off, though.
Whoa.
He lost so many Banelings to those siege tanks, and now aLive has a pretty scary army he can move out with.
Exactly, and he has a pretty good window as well. The main problem for NesTea is that he used all of his Banelings into the tanks, and it was beautiful, so well executed by aLive. He actually set up this line of tanks and then retreated with the Marines behind the tanks. It was beautiful.
Yeah, he had his own personal siege tank wall here. Now aLive is going to engage yet again. This time the Baneling count not as high. Oh, the Baneling's not getting good hits off. NesTea could be in trouble if he continues to lose Banelings like this.
NesTea is actually a little bit scared right now, moving back immediately. And one of the big problems that he's going to face very, very soon is that he doesn't have the hive tech, so he can't start +3/+3 upgrades for his units. And aLive is finishing +3 attack for the Marines and will probably start his armor upgrade too.
Yeah, very soon he will indeed. And NesTea has been engaging a little bit cost ineffectively recently. He lost 2 mutas and a Baneling to that drop that was at the bottom right. He just has to be very careful of how he picks these things off. I like how he's trying to avoid aLive's army right now, though, but aLive is going strong right now. Will likely start scanning and killing this creep in the middle. NesTea going for a huge counterattack. He may be able to get this orbital yet again.
The one problem that he really has is that the army composition of aLive is now excellent. He has those 2 Thors. Oh, but this is a problem. This is a huge problem. Oh, and the Banelings! He doesn't care about the Banelings at all. He's just going for takes down the command center. But yeah, as I was about to say, one of the... Oh, close.
That was close, but look at the supply, man. 180 to 148 right now. The Army supply 117 to 81. aLive has a big push coming.
That's the one problem that NesTea has. He is just falling behind right now. The army composition of aLive is too good with all those throws in the mix as well. The muralists are not as efficient. They can't circle the army, take down the siege tanks or the medivacs anymore. So this is really, really hard for him to approach.
You're exactly right, man. He has been losing banelings left and right here. He just does not have a powerful enough army to stop this. And if aLive's momentum does not cease here, I think he's just going to go all the way.
Not going in just yet. He has a problem with his lava. He still has 30 supply to fill, but he does not. He has the minerals, but he does not have lava to just build them.
Kaldor, he has 64 banelings right now, man. That is so many banelings. That is too many banelings. The tanks are split. The Marines are split as well here. This may be too many banelings.
It's a bailing party, and all those banelings take down the siege tanks. He's losing a ton of them here.
Yeah, he's just got to be more careful of how he engages banelings. aLive he saw ahead that many banelings, and he split his tanks accordingly. Now aLive, though, cannot feel comfortable to attack at that location. He has to defend his third base as well, and so he does. He's trying to get into position here, but he's still on creep.
Oh, and aLive is running off creep here. Very well done. He takes down all the banelings of his opponent. Such a great unit control here by aLive. But NesTea, he just builds units like a madman now. He's back to 161, taking the supply lead here, but his minerals, they are completely gone.
Yeah, he needed infestors. He's now getting that pathogen glands upgrade, but aLive is not giving him very much time here. He may get his Marines trapped, however. Nice pickup. The Mutos are chasing a great Thor drop by aLive. So strategic. He needs to get these drops out. He's going to lose one for sure.
This is so close.
Oh, the Thor drops out, trying to delay, and the Marines escape enough to chase away the Mutos, but a great trade for NesTea nonetheless.
Yeah, definitely an awesome control here by aLive, but NesTea gets the better end of the fight anyways. What an amazing game already. I really love this series.
I am in love with this series as well. NesTea looking really strong here. He's going to pick off some of these units in the middle of the map as well.
This is just such a nail-biting game. 164 supply now for NesTea, aLive with 127. We don't have the hive tech for NesTea. He can't get additional upgrades, but he doesn't have the resources either. And now once again, the banelings are going to roll. Will he be able to take them down? There's so many of them. The Marine split is exceptional.
Talk about a game changer. I always suspect about 30 to 40 SCVs went down in that blast, and Zerglings are streaming into the main base now.
NesTea is completely out of control here. aLive with so many nice strategic decisions in this game, but NesTea it is just too much. This is pure force.
Pure force indeed. It looks like aLive will finally check the rest of these Zerglings out of his main base. But look at the supply, 139 to 66. The evidence is looking pretty conclusive, man. I think NesTea is one of the best Zerg players in the world still.
This is just amazing, NesTea. He had such a problem in the mid game against aLive, and now suddenly he just completely switched it. And these banelings, I mean, how many banelings did he have this game?
So many.
Several hundred. This was just amazing.
Several hundred indeed, for sure. At some points having over 60. Gotta be careful with his mutas though. aLive pushing this back, and remember, even though aLive has lost so many SCVs, he still has the mules, but he doesn't have as many orbitals as he used to.
And guys, the army supply is not that far away. We have now roughly 63 army supply for aLive against 69 for NesTea. The overall difference in supply and the total supply basically comes from the worker count.
Yeah, and because he traded so many banelings for those SCVs, those banelings are not going to be part of NesTea's army anymore. He's trying to come in and do some more damage with these mules. Nice control by NesTea, getting out, even forcing a stim.
And now we have the first infestors.
You notice this one place NesTea keeps fighting with his Muse. Why? Because he knows aLive 1A's his medevacs over there every time. He fights this location strategically over and over again because every time aLive 1A's his medevacs over there, he's trying to pick them off. This is actually such a smart thing to notice by NesTea.
It's one of the best spots where you can actually be with your muralist, because you catch your reinforcements from your main base, from the natural to the third, and obviously, as you already mentioned, as soon as those medivacs get out of position, you can try to snipe them. And by now we don't have any Thors anymore, so it's a lot easier for him to circle the army once again.
Yeah, indeed, the investors are out, Kaldor. They're coming with this army. A few key fungals will change everything.
Oh yeah, he has so many Marines now out, 54, and he didn't see any investors just yet, so if he's not prepared for it, and suddenly the fungals hit, he might just die.
Nice pull away there by aLive with his SCVs. Almost lost some. The worker count now 79 for NesTea to 21 for aLive. You can see that reflected in the supply. Oh, Kaldor!
No fungal just yet, but a few Banelings trying to connect here.
Yep, the investors trying to get some fungals off, but they have to retreat for now. There is no support. aLive is army supply very similar to NesTea's 83 to 87.
Oh, I think the poor investor actually manages to escape here. What about the fungals? He didn't hit any so far. Nice fun here, the Banelings!
Great Baneling hits for NesTea, and now he doubles the supply of aLive. aLive does not have an army he can push with. His economy is hurting. His army is small. His opponent's tech is off the charts.
And again catching the reinforcements. Oh, but nice. Dims in, takes down a few of these Mutalisks. But it is not enough apparently. Here comes NesTea trying to finally claim victory. He has to retreat once again, but at least he was able to take down all of the siege tanks.
Yeah, doing a great job. Look at the supply. Literally double the supply for NesTea. The army supply, he's pulled ahead in that as well. And looks like these Marines may get caught by some fungals.
What a fungal, but he's moving in with infestors. He needs to fungal again. Yeah, but there are so many medivacs. And here come the... Oh, be careful with the Mutalisks.
Yeah, NesTea's got to be very careful. I saw in his eyes there trying to get those medivacs, but here come the rest of the Zerglings, and it looks like he's going to clean up aLive's army for the last time here.
He's still relying on his Marines, but as soon as the medivacs are gone, aLive will be in so much trouble. Every tech unit that he had is already dead, and those infestors still have a little bit of energy left for another fungal. Moving in right now, fungaling, and here comes NesTea trying to claim victory once again, and NesTea, he ties the series and takes game number 1.
Looking incredibly strong in that game. The first game, he got a little bit behind. He almost overcame aLive. The second game, we had a fairly similar scenario. NesTea with so much staying power, it's incredible, especially considering how tired he said he's been today. Just look at him in that booth. He looks so confident. He looks totally fine.
And one of the things that really won him the game once again was, as we mentioned, his control with the Mutalisks. He picked off so many units. Just think about how many medivacs he killed. In this one situation, he took down how many? 3, 4?
Yeah, maybe even 5 or 6. He just did it so many times. He kept coming back to that one location, and that was what was so impressive by NesTea. Just seeing that pattern of the 1A with the medivacs over that little space there, every time the medivacs flew over, because, you know, when you have all of your units in one control group and you send them, the medivacs take the shortest route. And NesTea realized that. You see players do this to Colossi, for example, because they can walk over cliffs. NesTea realized this. He kept trying to fight at that one point to pick off the medivacs. That was just totally awesome.
He didn't only do it with the medivacs, he took down tanks and everything. The Thors came eventually, but at this point, already a ton of units for aLive died, and as soon as the Thors were gone, he just continued what he did best the entire game. He circled his opponent's army, and he took down unit after unit, caught some reinforcements. So very nice play here by NesTea. I was impressed by aLive though, and especially in the mid game, I really thought that aLive had NesTea. He suddenly claimed the army advantage, and he had a composition that I thought NesTea would not be able to beat.
Yeah.
But these Banelings,
He has made it so many. He made so many Banelings. He's shown Baneling play like no one has ever seen before. Basically, the old style. He's trying to bring it back. He's using this really old style that many Terrans have started to overcome with great Marine splitting, good siege tank targeting. But NesTea just had so many units. He engaged in the right place most of the time. And even though he had a few weird moments with his Mutalisks, overall he was so on top of his Mutalisk control. He always has that one group of Mutalisks that he does to kill tech labs. He kills medevacs. He kills siege tanks. He's always controlling the map with those. He clears out the watchtowers. He stops dropships. He looked unbeatable.
It was really exceptional play here, and we have one scenario right now in this best of 5. The third map is gonna be San Sean Mist, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep, that is going to be our next map. It's a newer map, but it's a map I've seen several times in this tournament. A very good map, a map where the center location is so important. And you know, right now, since we're tied up, will NesTea go for the same strategy again? That's the question here, because aLive now is going to predict this. Will he get faster Thors, for example? Will he be more careful with his medevacs? If he does the things that Terrans have done in the past, for the reason of this, Terrans have started to figure out how to deal with this style. People have switched into Infestor play, and aLive may not have been expecting this. Now he's seen it 2 games in a row. He's starting to get back into that mindset. It would be great for NesTea to kind of throw a wrench in the gears and switch styles.
Actually, from the games that I've seen so far on this map, I would expect that he might rely on Mutalisk once again. It's a map where you can definitely pull off a Mutalisk play. I think the players are ready for the next game, though. And before we head into the game, we are having another quick commercial, and then we will be back with a third game between NesTea and aLive.